how did I get the image? I searched for several years. I had the poem waiting, but I couldn't find an appropriate image. And one day in my garden, I'm an ardent gardener, and I had set up a compost heap. And after years, I decided to break the heap to use the contents to furnish one of my beds. And when I plunged the fork to pick up that portion of the soil, I noticed some huge earthworms coming out of it, the largest I've ever seen in the United States. And I was fascinated by them. So I picked up the soil to see them free themselves trying to get away from the soil. And when they were finished, that clump of earth had these tunnels in it. And that is how I got the idea. Immediately I said, I found my idea. The tunnels underground will be my purgatory. And I came in that very night, and I took this canvas, which was intended for something else, and I started to lay out freehand, draw my tunnels. And at the same time, I had been doing a lot of perspective studies of tunnels with my students. I'm also an art teacher. And I was doing that, a lot of those, and fascinating them with how you can create tunnels by making swirls. Everything came to a head here on this painting. And I created these swirls and these tunnels, and as if that earthworm habitat had been enlarged and a chunk of it had been put on this canvas. And these areas were raised with modeling paste to give the feeling of depth and form. And my colors were dictated, of course, by prejudice. Some of us believe that heaven is a hot place. So I teased you by putting some orange here and some red, implying lava, burning, and so on, because the warm colors will give the feeling of people suffering in lava, the soul suffering in lava. But the blue, nice blue lights are lights of peace and tranquility and so on. But what happens to purple light? Perhaps we are coming in with the purple, which is a ghostly form that comes in. So I'm merely playing with your mind when I use these different colors. They're just impulsively selected.